Hello, and welcome to the Intel Brief, your daily intelligence briefing on global geopolitics. Today is Thursday, 5 September. I'm your host Daniel, the founder of HM Intelligence, and every weekday we bring you not just the news, but the so what from the events and decisions that shape our world. So grab a coffee and get ready to be informed. In today's update, we'll be covering France names a new Prime Minister, Zelensky to visit a US base in Germany to request more weapons, and is Moscow ready to negotiate with Kyiv? So firstly, French President Emmanuel Macron has appointed Michel Barnier, the EU's former Brexit negotiator, as the new Prime Minister, following more than 50 days of a caretaker government after snap elections in June. Macron tasked Barnier with creating a unifying government for the country. At 73, Barnier is set to become France's oldest modern prime minister, replacing Gabriel Attal, who is less than half his age. Barnier's Conservative Party, the Republics, suffered significant losses in June's election, which led to fragmented parliament where no single party holds a majority. Barnier faces formidable challenges ahead as France's parliament is deeply divided, while leftists' alliances hold almost most of the seats. They lack an outright majority. Macron's centrist coalition, along with Marine Le Pen's far-right National Rally, make up the key political factions. The leader of the hard left New Popular Front criticised the appointment, arguing that the new government does not reflect the will of the people. Barnier may also face a no confidence vote from the NFP, adding to the difficulties of navigating the politically deadlocked parliament. So what? It is clear that France is not out of the woods politically yet. Even if Barnier does survive this possible no confidence vote, the task of bringing both sides of the political spectrum together will be very tough. A key highlight of this is how the last election went. French elections are run in two stages. The first stage was won by Marine Le Pen's far-right party, with the second being won by the far-left party, showing how fragmented the political situation is. And it seems unlikely that it will settle down anytime soon. And next, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is expected to visit the United States Ramstein Air Base in Germany to request increased Western military aid in Ukraine's fight against Russia, according to a report by Der Spiegel. The visit would be part of a meeting of the Ukraine Defense Contract Group, also known as the Ramstein Group, which consists of over 50 nations supporting Ukraine. Zelensky's requests are expected to include long-range missiles and air defense systems, with the meeting organized by US Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin. It will mark the group's 24th gathering since its formation in April 2022, shortly after the Russian invasion. One key issue that will likely be discussed is Zelensky's request for permission to use Western-supplied long-range weapons on Russian military targets within its territory, a move that could escalate the conflict, according to some analysts. In recent weeks, Kyiv has intensified these requests as Russian forces continue to target Ukraine's energy infrastructure in the build-up to winter. Although the US and Germany have eased some restrictions on weapon usage for defending areas such as Kharkiv near the Russian border, many Western countries still maintain limits on how Ukraine can use their military aid to avoid further escalation. So what? I think this indicates a clear level of worry from the Ukrainian leadership, as recent reporting has indicated that they are running out of long-range missiles, which have been key to degrading the Russian war effort. This shortage also likely applies to air defense missiles, which may be why Russian strikes have been hitting their targets more effectively recently. This is all happening at the same time as Russia is reportedly about to receive a large quantity of Iranian ballistic missiles, meaning they will have much more to shoot, more frequently, and at more targets. It is also likely that Russia will attempt to further degrade the Ukrainian energy infrastructure as we head into winter as a way of subjecting them to the cold, harsh conditions. And lastly, Russian President Vladimir Putin has expressed a willingness to resume peace talks with Ukraine, despite previously stating that Ukrainian military action in Kursk made negotiations impossible. He referenced a peace deal that was initially outlined during earlier discussions in Istanbul, suggesting that it could serve as a foundation for a new agreement. Putin emphasized that Russia has never refused negotiations, but any dialogue should be based on the existing framework from the Istanbul talks, rather than new or vague demands. Putin also suggested that BRICS member nations such as China, Brazil, or India could potentially act as mediators in future negotiations, which would be a move away from Turkey, who is currently in that position. So what? I don't think it is likely that Putin is willing to negotiate in good faith, and it is unlikely that much of his positions have changed, which has been causing a deadlock in negotiations so far. In particular, Ukraine has continued to state that they want Russia to withdraw outside of the pre-2014 borders, something that Russia almost certainly will not agree to. In addition to these statements, Putin earlier today stated that Russia's primary goal in Ukraine is to control the Donbas region, indicating they are highly unlikely to give up this territory in any form of peace negotiation, which would likely lead to further deadlock. Thank you for listening to the Intel Brief, your daily intelligence briefing on global geopolitics, brought to you by HM Intelligence. If you want to support the podcast, tell your friends to help them stay informed and leave us a 5-star review. Or if you want to learn more about intelligence, why not take one of our courses? They're all online, self-paced, and affordable. Thank you for listening. I've been your host, Daniel, and I'll see you next time.